This is for the ladies. I just want to talk about why during or before your monthly cycle you experience intense anxiety. Days before your monthly cycle and during your monthly cycle. Because I got this question on TikTok like, hey Albert, is it normal to experience intense anxiety during my monthly cycle? And the answer is yes. It is very normal to experience intense anxiety. During that period, days before my monthly cycle, I used to experience intense insomnia. My emotions were all over the place, intense sadness, anger, like emotions that I didn't understand. For some people who struggle with PMS, you might struggle with, irregular periods, too painful periods, too long periods. So it is very normal during that time because we are experiencing hormonal changes. Our hormones are changing during that time. And it is not something that you have to go like before I knew about anxiety, before I educated myself on the anxiety subject, I too used to think that it was something else. I used to think that why is it that when I'm approaching my monthly cycle, I feel this, intense emotions. I literally feel sick. I feel unwell. So you might be tempted to go to the hospital to find out what is wrong. You go to the hospital, nothing is being found. It is anxiety. And let me tell you why that happens. I want to tell you why it happens and how to go about it. When we are stressed, stress and anxiety affects our bodies. So when we are stressed, we have a lot of cortisol. Cortisol is one of the stress hormones that is responsible for your state. So we have a lot of cortisol. And when we have a lot of cortisol in our body, it affects the production of estrogen and serotonin. What is estrogen and serotonin for ladies? Estrogen and serotonin are the hormones that are responsible for our general wellness. They are responsible for stabilizing our mood. So when we have excess cortisol, it lowers the production of estrogen and serotonin. That's why you are experiencing, your emotions are all over the place. You are experiencing intense insomnia. You are experiencing anger. And one of the ways that I used to know that, when I already educated myself on the anxiety subject, and I always knew that during that time of the month I'm gonna experience intense anxiety. One of them was intense anger. Like I used to lash out. Before, when I knew what was happening, before I understood what was happening, I used to lash out to people who are close to me. Then when I knew, okay, it is anxiety, cortisol is, our hormones are changing. Even people who, when you are approaching menopause or, perimenopause, you might experience intense anxiety. Also, anxiety tends to affect our libido for men, even for ladies, because even me, I don't remember the time I got, like, I rarely got laid when I was struggling with anxiety. So even if you feel like you are not as intimate as before, your libido is lowered, it is because of anxiety. It affects the production of hormones that are responsible for intimacy. So yes, anxiety affects us when we are during our monthly cycle. So if you don't know what is happening, you might find that you are avoiding things, you are canceling social events, you just want to stay in bed because you are experiencing this extreme fatigue. It is anxiety. And one of the best ways to help with that is to drag yourself around. Like, get out of bed and drag yourself around. Like, live with those feelings. Do not avoid anything. Live your life with those feelings beside you. Then as time goes by, as you focus on overcoming anxiety, that period anxiety will also go away. You will no longer experience, anxiety during that period of your monthly cycle. That's how it goes away. You don't have to go to the hospital to, look for any disease. You don't have to take any painkillers. It is anxiety. And by the way, I struggle with, even up to now, I struggle with painful cramps. It's something that I struggle with pre-anxiety, during anxiety, and like literally right now. So if you know anything that can help me with period cramps, can you kindly comment down below? Because during that time, it's always just like I experience painful cramps. I have taken, cloves, that people always say clove water. I've taken herbs. I've been to the hospital, medication pills. Nothing is helping. So if you have a permanent solution for menstrual cramps, can you kindly comment down below? What you need to know with anxiety is that it kind of exaggerates symptoms. It literally exaggerates symptoms. That's why you find that when you are sick, like actually sick, when you're struggling with malaria, that is one of the things that I used to struggle with. It is prone in my area. So when I used to struggle with malaria, or when you struggle with flu, you find that your anxiety goes high. That is because of the hormonal changes. And also, someone struggling with anxiety is always hyper aware of everything. So any change in their body, they're just like, they feel it in an exaggerated manner because they are sensitized. So when you're struggling with anxiety during your monthly cycle, do not despair, do not worry about it. Just know that it is normal, and when your monthly cycle is over, you'll get to calm down because of the hormonal changes. Cortisol affects the production of estrogen and serotonin, which helps in the general wellness, which helps in improving our mood. You are bound to experience intense anxiety during your monthly cycle. Do not stop what you are doing. Just the same way you might be struggling with depression, the same way you might be struggling with fatigue, with the intrusive thoughts, with the panic attacks, continue with your day with all those symptoms. I know it can be overwhelming, you feel anxious, but you can have slow days. Sometimes, with anxiety, sometimes I used to prioritize rest because already I was anxious, I was fatigued. So do not feel guilty when resting. Sometimes it is okay to rest. Not every time it is pushing. Rest is very necessary. When you feel like, okay, it is overwhelming, it is too much, you can rest. So sometimes you can slow down, sometimes you can have slow days, but you keep moving with the way you feel. In no time, you'll realize that you no longer experience intense anxiety, you no longer feel anxious, you no longer feel exaggerated symptoms during that period of the month. That's how it went away for me. There's nothing that I did. Like when you asked me, like, hey, Albert, what did you do for your, the anxiety that you used to feel during that period of the month? I'm just like, I did nothing. I just continued with my day, just the same way I treat other anxiety symptoms. I threw it under the anxiety umbrella, even though I felt anxious during that time. I experienced exaggerated symptoms, but I was like, already I know what is happening. I know it is anxiety. Let me just continue with my day, because when I lie in bed, it becomes worse. I get down the rabbit hole. So the best thing is to wake up out of bed and continue doing my job. If it is work, go to work. If it is taking care of the baby, if it is doing the house chores, just do what needs to be done. Then as you overcome anxiety, as you focus on overcoming anxiety, you realize, I no longer feel, intense anxiety during that time of the month, and that's how it goes away. So if that's something that you're struggling with, it will go away. It will just go away, just like the other anxiety symptoms. So if you have watched up to this point, make sure a thumbs up, like this video, share to other people who may need it. Comment down below if anxiety during your monthly cycle is something that you're struggling. Comment down using this emoji of raising your hand, and also subscribe, because it helps the channel grow. Remember, I have a coaching program. If you want help with your specific situation, if you want me to help you out of the anxiety cycle, I'm not forcing you. I have a lot of free resources. I have a free ebook, I have TikTok, I have these YouTube videos. But if you're someone who is interested with working one-on-one with me personally, use this WhatsApp or this email to reach out to me. Otherwise, let's meet on the next video. Bye.